Carlos has bet in the blind 150. Now what will the tank do?
All in.
Frank coming back over the top.
Well, he's going all in.
I call.
For nearly 800,000, and Carlos quickly calls him.
We've got a bullfight here.
Well, Frank turns up the top two pair. Carlos turns up the open-end straight draw.
Come on, 10 outs.
Yeah, Carlos says he has 10 outs.
10 outs, one
That
time.
means 4 aces, 4 sixes, and 2 threes. Those are the 10 cards he's talking about that he can win the pot with. He needs one of them now.
The tank plunging away. Out in front. Will he stay there?
Clubs can cancel.
Here comes 4th Street.
Oh, the 8 of diamonds comes off. Now, that's a bad card for Carlos because it takes 3 of his outs away.
2 outs.
The 8, 3, and 6 of diamonds are no good for Carlos anymore. So all of a sudden, his outs have shrunk to 7.
Frank the tank in a great position to double up.
Oh, but the 3 of hearts comes off. The Matador outdraws Frank on the river, and that's going to do it for the 22-year-old poker pro out of Syracuse, New York. That's a one.
Frank the tank imploding before our very eyes, out in 3rd place, but he is going to pick up 167,000.
So Carlos Mortensen firing the bazooka to take the tank out of the tournament.
Oh man, it was so sick. I had a ton of chips, and then I just ran bad once we got back from break. We were 3-handed and made a couple moves that didn't really work out, and oh well, whatever happens.
Quiet on the set. The heads-up action is about to begin at the Hollywood Casino. Stay with us. We're coming back for more.
You know what? I'm not the greatest heads-up player. It's going to be something different for me, especially against Carlos, who's a great tournament player, period. So I got my work cut out for me.
And there is still work to do, you know. Can't say anything until the last player is down.
Welcome back to heads-up action on the WPT.
The cash, the trophy, and the WPT Tiffany bracelet are being put on the table. So much on the line for both these players.
Who's going to become the first champion of the Hollywood Poker Open? Let's check the chip count and then get back to the game.
So there you see Carlos Mortensen out front right now. He's got 2.2 million, but right on his heels, Mike Mustafa with 2 million in chips.
Carlos, you got enough bracelets. Let me get one, all right?
We got the former car salesman, Mike Mustafa, up against one of the true greats, Carlos Mortensen.
Well, that suck out against Frank a moment ago. Carlos ensures himself to be the all-time money leader on the World Poker Tour.
All right, to the game we go. Action on Carlos. He picks up Queen Jack of Spades.
And that's a pretty good hand in heads-up poker.
And he's going to raise with it. Makes it 60,000.
Mike Mustafa has an ace-10. And also a pretty good hand in heads-up poker.
The 150.
And he's coming right back over the top. He's going to make it 150,000. And quickly, Carlos calls the raise. So here we go. Good action on hand number 1 of the heads-up battle. And what a flop this is for both players.
Wow.
Mike has flopped top pair with top kicker. Carlos has flopped a flush draw with 2 overcards.
And Mike not taking any time. He's going to put in 240,000.
How much you got left?
Well, Carlos says, how much are you playing? He's laughing because there's a good chance he could ship it here with this hand.
I call.
But he just calls. Doesn't raise with the flush draw, just makes the call.
Carlos hoping to get lucky. Here's our turn.
Oh, the Queen of Hearts comes off. So now Carlos has the best hand and the best draw.
250.
Mike is checked, and Carlos betting $250,000.
I call.
Well, Mike is going to make the call for $250,000.
This is getting expensive. Down to the river we go. 7 of clubs.
Well, the board pairs 7s.
Check.
250.
Again, Mike checks, and quickly, Carlos confidently bets $250,000.
I call.
And the car salesman is going to call it.
2 pair.
Well, Carlos turns up, queens up, and he's going to win the pot with it. And a healthy pot it was.
Nice hand.
There's 10,000 short, I think.
Then Mustafa hasn't showed his hand quite yet. Carlos says you're 10,000 short.
How you know you're getting it yet? How you know you're getting the pot yet?
Well, we know. And now he knows. The Matador takes his sword, pierces the bull,
Nearly 1.8 million in that pot, so Carlos Mortensen extending his chip lead.
Don't tell me you have a jacks.
Huh?
You don't have jacks.
Ace 10.
Ace 10's exactly right, my friend.
All right, Carlos. First hand, I give you 1,000,000 chips.
All right, the antes are going up with that hand to 4,000.
I put you on a flush draw, to be honest with you. I don't think you
Blinds
hit the
20
queen.
and 40,000.
Well, I made the exactly right bet to make the...
Mustafa says he loves to talk at the table.
Maybe.
And when he's playing in his home game, the guys just, say, put the duct tape on. Just shut up for a moment.
Talking probably works a lot better in the home game than it's going to work out here in the WPT against the likes of a Carlos Mortensen or a Daniel Negreanu, I can tell you that.
All right, it's on him, and he's got a pair of fives.
Well, he's going to raise it here. Can't blame him for that. Comes in for 90,000.
I call.
Carlos with the suited Jack 4 of diamonds. He's going to make the call. Hard to steal his blind, Vince. And flop comes 10, 9, deuce, 1 diamond. Carlos checks, and Mike checks the 2 5s right behind him.
Yeah, flop helped neither player, but look at this ace of diamonds on the turn. That's going to help Carlos.
Well, Carlos checks again with the flush draw.
120.
And now Mike bets 120,000, trying to represent that he's got an ace in his hand. But look at this. Carlos is going to raise him. He makes it 240,000 to go. And Vince, most players would just immediately eject the 2 5s and throw them in the muck. But Mike has made the call.
Yeah.
Just knows Carlos is capable of making a play here. And now the joker comes off for Mike Mustafa. The third 5 comes off. Now Carlos checks.
All in.
And Mike now bets all in with the 3 5s. There's no way Carlos is going to call here, obviously, with the jack high. So he throws his hand away, but Vince, what a call by this guy on the turn. I mean, all you can beat is a stone bluff. It was a great raise by Carlos there.
Ace 5?
Pocket threes.
No way.
Unfortunately, his opponent didn't go anywhere.
You have ace 5.
I don't have 2 pair, Carlos, I swear.
He's telling the truth right there.
I don't have 2 pair. You're going to be shocked.
You have flush draw?
No.
But you have a pair, at least.
I had a pocket pair, yeah.
Let's see if Carlos can figure this out.
But you have a set.
Oh, ole!
35.
3 5s, he calls it.
Stay with us. We're coming back for more on the World Poker Tour.
Tonight's World Poker Tour brought to you by FullTiltPoker.net.
I thought I was a poker player until today. This is amazing what they brought here. If I grew up where they built this casino and nobody here would have dreamed of a poker game other than at a Legion Hall or somewhere, nothing with millions of dollars on the table. And Hollywood Casino has been such a great benefit to this community. We can't thank Hollywood enough for bringing Lawrenceburg into the limelight, and we appreciate everything they do.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. This is world-class Hollywood Casino.
Well, we appreciate being in the Midwest for a WPT event, and what a great spot to be, especially for these two guys fighting it out for this title.
To the felt we go. Carlos Mortensen first to act.
Raise.
With an ace-deuce, he's going to raise.
I call.
Makes it 120,000 to go.
Yeah, Mike is going to make the call here, and why not? After catching that 5 on the river, feeling good a minute ago. Let's gamble it up here.
Mike with 9-7.
Ace, Queen 9, great flop for Carlos. He's flopped top pair. Mike has flopped bottom pair.
120.
Mike checks, and Carlos is going to bet 120,000.
I call.
Now, Mike is going to call him. He just thinks this guy's never got a hand, Vince. Oh, a 7 comes off. Mike has taken the lead with 2 pair here as he gets very lucky on the turn.
200.
Again, he checks. And again, Carlos bets, this time 200,000. And folks, get ready for the check raise.
What a dream card on the turn. And there it is, just like you said, Mike.
Well, actually, you're going to raise it here with 2 pair. In case your opponent's got a straight draw or just a pair of aces like he's got, you got to make him pay to catch.
Oh, yeah. Makes it 660 to go.
You have like 700 behind?
Yeah. Exactly.
That's a healthy $460,000 re-raise. Well, Carlos has top pair. He's got a bad kicker. He's been check raised on the turn. What do you do now with 2 aces? And he's getting out chips. He knows there's a chance his opponent could have something like King 10 of diamonds where he made a flush draw and a straight draw on the turn. But chances are he's probably beat. Carlos Mortensen with some of the best instincts in the poker world. Can he get away from two aces here?
And you notice Mustafa's not talking much here.
He does throw away the aces, Vince.
Yeah, good lay down.
And another spot-on lay down by Carlos Mortensen. Vince, the guy just has a knack to know when he's beat.
Nice pickup on the turn for Mike. Got to be content with that.
8-7. 8-7.
Pair.
Queen 9.
2 pair. 2 pair.
Queen 9. Gotta be Queen 9.
No. You got to call.
Not really. You tell him everything anyhow.
What's your kicker with your ace?
Well, you're right,
6.
Vince. If I was this guy, I wouldn't be telling Carlos Mortensen a thing.
Gee.
Everybody thought you were going to make the call there. I even thought you were going to make the call there.
I'd be getting the duct tape and putting it over my own mouth.
He's just the sweetest guy, and he just sweet talks everyone, and they reveal everything.
Well, Vince, with that hand, these players are almost dead even in chips again. So we are back to the drawing board for Carlos Mortensen, who's going for his third WPT title tonight.
And the antes are going up to 5,000. Blinds now 25 and 50. Action goes to Carlos.
There it is.
Has a miserable-looking Jack 4, but that's not going to slow down the bullfighter. He makes it 150 to go. Mustafa with a King Jack makes the call.
Right now, Mike has him dominated. King Jack versus Jack 4. Carlos perhaps steaming a bit there. Well, here comes a flop.
You need glasses for Carlos.
Well, look at this. Carlos going to put on his sunglasses, Vince. It's a battle of the shades now. Carlos hadn't been having them on, but flop is Queen 9-5.
250.
No help to either player. It does give Mike a gut shot straight draw. He checks, and Carlos confidently bets 250,000.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been called with the gut shot straight draw, and why not, Vince?
There's Chris Bell back on the rail. Nice effort to be knocked out and come back and watch. Very rare.
Well, deuce of hearts comes off. You're right, Vince. Most people just run out straight to the bar when they get knocked out.
That is true. Now they both check.
Here comes the river card. Now a 10 comes off on the river. Again, the joker for Mike Mustafa. He has the stone cold nuts, the best hand possible.
500.
And he's going to bet $500,000 here. And Vince, I don't understand this bet. And Carlos quickly folds, and I say that because if Carlos has a big hand where he can pay off a $500,000 bet, why not give him a chance to bluff at the pot?
Which one of these players' tournament run is going to have a nice, perfect Hollywood ending?
Find out when we return with more action from the Hollywood Poker Open in just a moment.
Carlos, you got enough bracelets. Let me get one, all right? I'd love to play against Carlos heads up. That would probably be the perfect matchup. Just want to see how I stack up against one of the best.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. The Hollywood Poker Open continues. Heads-up action.
Well, right now, Mike Mustafa stacking up pretty well against Carlos as he's got the chip lead. He's got 2.4 million. Carlos sitting on 1.8 million. So right now, the momentum on the side of Mike Mustafa.
Mike Mustafa, the former car salesman, got in the tournament through a $1,200 satellite, making things happen here tonight. Let's go to the felt. Carlos with a King 10 this time.
He's been spanked too many times lately and opts to just limp in with a King 10. And Mike says, okay, let's have a flop as he looks down at a Jack Deuce. And there it is, Jack right in the door. It's come Queen Jack 6. So Mike has second pair. Carlos has the open end straight draw.
Mike checks. Carlos checking as well.
Well, 4 hearts comes off. Mike thinking he's got the best hand now with 2 jacks, which he does. So he's going to bet. He bets just 50,000. Look at this, Vince. Carlos is going to raise him on the turn here after limping in and then checking on the flop. He has now raised him on the turn, and as you can see, Mike is trying to figure this out. He said, well, I don't know what you got. I'm going to call you to find out, though.
An additional 100, and he's been called by Mike down to the river.
Oh, the ace of spade comes off. This gives Carlos an ace high straight. There is a possible flush out there. Now, Mike is going to check.
Just a perfect card for the Matador.
350,000.
And the perfect card would have been an offsuit ace, but 300.